Happy Wednesday, everybody. So happy to see people here already. Let's see, Anne and Gail, Michelle, Lori, and Sue Fiber Art. I am so happy to see you here. Hello to the Secret Squirrels. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much. Hey, Mouse. Yeah, how is it over by you? You have any flooding in your area? We're up enough on the hill that I don't think flooding is going to be our issue. It'll be mostly power outages and trees falling and all of that fun stuff. Those of you that don't know where I am in California, we are in the middle of a big, big storm. Kitty Cat's first live. Hello. I forgot your first name. From the Netherlands. Awesome. I owe you a lot of responses to comments. Hi, Hina. Hi, Riri. Terry, Jackie, my goodness, what a wonderful full house we have. I love it. Let me switch the camera so you got something pretty to look at. There we go. So we should be fine. It's just raining now. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Liz. Oh, my goodness. First time here for Liz, 143 handmade. Okay, Karen, but Kitty is okay. All right. Hi, Sue Brown. What a full house. I love it. So we should be okay right now. We're just, the rain's just, going pretty steadily. I haven't seen any power blips, but if I disappear, I probably won't come back. Okay. Corey says hello. Hello, Corey. Hi, Veronica. Yeah, every major road around you has a fallen tree. I'm not surprised, Mouse. I just heard Glenwood Cutoff is completely shut down. Thread, Needle, Scissors, St. Clair. Hello. Tell us how you would like to be referred to. Welcome. New people. I'm excited. Well, I'm glad I have something fairly new then that I'm working on. Let me start. Yeah, it's going to get worse. The next tonight, well, I guess like about 5 o'clock, it's supposed to get even worse. And for the next 10 days, I guess we've got lots of rain and the heavy winds and all that good stuff. But we got the leak in the roof fixed. Karen. Okay. Thread, needle, scissors is Karen. I will probably ask you multiple times because I'm bad at remembering and I don't have a notepad handy to take notes. But let me tell you where I started on here. Okay, so Gail knows Karen. Nice. Fiona, did you sneak in here and I didn't see you? We should be okay. We won't have a landslide, I don't think, unless the hill behind us falls down. And I don't think that's going to happen. Luckily, this last year, we got our last retaining wall redone, which was the major issue where the side of the road was threatening to fall into our side yard. And so they did steel girders and all that good stuff. And we've got a super tall retaining wall there. So we should be okay. And the redwoods, my husband was looking at it, the redwood trees down the road, the worst that will happen if they fall over our direction will be they'll take out the fence, and that's okay. So we're just, hey, Andrea, Fiona snuck in. Good evening to you. So I've got purple, surprise, right? Color, but I'm expanding. As long as it's not pale pink, I seem to be okay with more colors, which is good. And this is just a variety of pieces. There's a video that I put out on, I think it was Monday, that showed this piece, putting it together. And I just took little pieces and just tack them down really roughly. There's space for my, cotton that's underneath there to show. I'm not worried about that because you're not going to see that much of the fabric when I'm done. And then this is not cheesecloth. Yeah, I'm liking the colors a lot more than normal. Normally, you guys will see me doing, green, lots of green. This is medical gauze that normally comes on a roll. And whenever I'm doing any kind of paint work or dye work, I always keep a roll of this handy. And then I just, it's on the roll. I can just roll it up, let it soak up the colors. I can take some off and do the same thing. And then I end up with all this wonderful stuff. And it's very, very thin and lightweight. And what I love about it is the way you can see, this is 2 thicknesses still. And I'm not even, there we go. I can pull it apart. Yeah, I saw that, Mouse. People are surfing the floods in Santa Cruz, which is so Santa Cruz. Absolutely. I am in Central California in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And so this is very thin and you can pull it apart, which makes some really interesting things. And another thing is if you're trying to have threads that totally match your thing, I could actually pull threads from here. Okay. And now I've got a piece of thread that definitely goes in my colors, and I could use that as a variegated thread. All right. So what I did after I pieced this together, I just tacked down 3 pieces of this gauze. And what I was thinking, okay, several thoughts. You know me, I usually like to do some couching. But I'm thinking also about more texture. And I don't have that many purple bits left. These were the only purple bits. That's kind of pinkish. It would work, but it's not my first choice. Hey, Margaret. Hello. Yeah, the gauze is just amazing. And then I also have some of this sheer. And this is just a polyester sheer. Lori had asked the question, wanted to know, shoot, wait a minute here. Let me, so Lori wanted to know what is it? What was your question? Type your question again, Lori. It'll save me trying to page back through there. Hey, Sandy, there you are. So I could, let's see. I could just start laying that down over things. One of the things I know I'm going to want to do is make my seams not so straight. Oh, thank you, Terry. You know, so I could do that, but I think it's a little boring. I could also twist this and couch it, which I kind of like that idea. And I've just got a few scraps, but I think I'm going to start with my larger piece to couch down. And I could do this a few ways. Oh, and these fabrics here have been dyed with India ink, magicals, acrylic paint, watercolors, you know, whatever I happen to be using at the time. These are just little scraps. And then my paint water, I will just shove them in my paint water. So I could just take something like this, you know, and that's my thing, to kind of drop it down and couch it. So that's one idea. But then I was thinking maybe if I double it. Hey, Lori, how are you doing today? If I doubled it, so it would give me something a little more interesting, perhaps. And then, no, like that. Oh, look at you, Terry. Thank you so much. Okay, there's Lori's question. Thank you. Want to know any tips, tricks, new things you learned this past year that you would like to share? I learned not to limit my choice of materials. Thank you, Susan. I use anything I want. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. So see, I could come around and do a few rows of that. And this is probably just going to be a wall hanging. It's just an odd size. All right. And you know me, no pins, right? Yeah, it's a great question. So I learned that one of the things that I'm most interested in is texture, and how much I like working in tones of color. And yeah, using whatever materials we have at hand, you know, plastics, you know, there are people that are doing a whole lot of work with recycled plastics. Well, why can't you put that into your embroidery? There are people that mix the paper and fabric, people that embroider on photographs, they embroider on leaves. Don't limit yourself. Follow where your interest is. And if you've never done it before and you've never seen anybody do it before, try it yourself. Be the first one. All right. I mean, you know me, I'm not going to pin it because that's just me. I don't pin things down because then I just stab myself with the pins. Do I want to keep the heavy purple in here? do I want, ooh, I kind of like that. I like that little bit right there. So maybe I do want to mix it with the gauze. That looks almost a little too precise. I'm not sure. I really like this part right here, though. So here's what, and I have more of this, so I can add more. So I'm going to do this differently this time. I'm just going to start couching this down right where it is. And couching on camera is always tricky. What did I do? There we go. And I'm not going to try and do any kind of a fancy stitch to hold it down. Oh, I need a bigger needle. That's what I need. Let's see. What do we have here? These are 18s. Huge needle. Let's just change needles. It'll make it faster and easier. All right. That means I have to thread a needle again. I learned, what else did I learn this year? I learned how much I really like abstract work. I like looking at work that is identifiable as something, but I probably enjoy making more things that are abstract. Fiona, I was waiting for you. I like the right-hand side, not so sure about the left. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is not even worry. It was too balanced. I think it needs to be a little more unbalanced. I'm going to just stitch this corner down right here. Sandy said I should know when I throw out the word crazy that Fiona and Lori would say hi. You know your people. Know your people. All right. Wow. What I must have picked the most heavily painted piece. So all I really want to do is just get, yeah, unbalanced. Story of my life, right? Sandy, you can be quiet now. Okay, I really didn't need to change the needle, but you know what? I'm going to let it go. Sometimes it's worth it just to have things go more easily. Aunt Beck's Creations, hello. How are you doing today? Yeah, I'm just gonna wander just a little bit and we'll just see where it takes us. I just basically want to get it couched down enough that it's not going to all fall off. All right. And I'm going to have to pull that one up just a little. Not so sure that I like the double as much as, well, if I don't, we'll see. We'll see. Did anybody get any new, well, I still want to hear more about what people learned this year. What did you learn? Okay, I'm going to come back. I am not going to worry about traveling across the back of this. What did you learn, if anything, this past year? All right. And because I pulled it, I need to stretch that out a little bit. If any of you new folks are expert seamstresses, I might make you cringe a little bit, and I will apologize only a little because this is me. You know, this is me. I get there in the end. Mouse said, trying so hard to think what I learned or tips I could import. What did you learn from the foster dog? You must have learned something from the foster dog. I'm sure of it. All right, I want to get away from this really painted piece. Ooh, Fiona learned to say no. You know what? That's a really good one. I learned that one a couple years ago. I still mess up sometimes, but that is, boy, setting boundaries. I also learned to not engage with toxic people who don't necessarily believe they're being toxic. All right, I'm just going to get up here to this section, and then we're going to take another look and decide where we go next. Laurie said, I learned it's okay to take out, rip out, change my mind. Yep. Hey, Corinne, well, that's a good reason. Late to the party because your son stopped by. I would always love those kind of reasons. Heck, I would like not show up if my son lives too far away to just pop by, but how nice. All right, so I know I'm going to do that one, and then I think we're going to come down. That's all I'm going to worry about. Lori said, I learned that even though I retired from a real job, I'm just as slow as ever. Thought I would be cranking stuff out. Nope. Boy, that's a hard one to learn, isn't it? You think that the more time you have, I remember I was still writing when I retired, and I thought I was going to just be writing so much. And actually, I spent the first probably 6 months just wandering around the house, not doing a whole lot of anything. And, then all the changes happened and what have you. But, and I've learned to embrace that my process is slow. Veronica said, yes, 2022, I kicked all the narcissists out of my life. Yes. Good for you. Sue Brown said, I learned not to follow artists who do things precisely. That's interesting. Do you feel like then it puts too much pressure on you to be precise? Because I am following artists that do things precisely, but I'm also doing it very conscious of the fact that my way will not be precise when I interpret any of their ideas. So I'm not feeling as pressured anymore. But I tell you what, 2021, I felt so pressured. Anne says it takes a while. It takes a while to adjust to retirement after decades of working. Yep. Jackie said, I learned I like free-form projects more than pattern instruction projects. Yep. I like that. Mouse says, I have learned a lot from my foster dog. Messiness happens. Absolutely. Life changes, so be flexible. Margaret said, I learned to be inspired by others' work and not feel that my work should look like theirs. I also learned the value of practice, and to be patient with myself. Oh, Margaret, that's a wonderful one. Wonderful lesson. In practice, you'll hear many people talk about their art practice. And we really need to realize that that's what our art is. Working on our art, whatever type of art you're doing every day, is a matter of practice. And of course, the more we do it, the better we're going to get at it. And we shouldn't expect to be, getting everything right the first time. You don't ride a bike without training wheels the first time. Karen said, I learned not to be a perfectionist when slow stitching. Yes. Yeah, perfectionism, boy, kick that perfectionist to the curb. Sue Brown said, yes, I have to be careful who and what I watch. I'm too impressionable. I feel pressured to be as exact as they are. Yeah, that is a hazard. It really is. All right. Now this fabric, some of you might notice I don't know if you can see from there, but I've got like puckers in this. I'm not worried about it because I could come in here and I could do a bunch of stitches right here and have a little ridge. That's just more texture. Sandy, I learned to spell check autocorrect. Yeah. Sue Fiber Art, to make what I want to and not what I think other people want me to make. Yes. And that's also a correlation to that would be following the money, right? If you're an artist who sells, it's very easy to get tempted into this, I need to make something in a certain price point so that people will buy it. And it's like, no, if my heart's not in it, my heart's not in it. I need to let it go. And I want to come back to that about hearts. So somebody remind me after we finish some of this. Liz said, I learned to unlearn a lot of rules I grew up with. My art is messy and I've learned to embrace that. Oh, that's a fabulous thing to have learned. Hey, Kathy, hope you have a break for a while. Aunt Beck says, I learned to quit trying to gain relationships with people that cast me aside and take the time to nurture the relationships with people also wanting to be a part of my life. That is fabulous, Aunt Beck. Yes, to everyone who is also choosing positive, creative people in their life. You got it, Lori. Terry says, Kathy, lock the door. Karen said, I have a friend that won't do anything if it's not perfect. P.S. She doesn't do anything in the end. Just do it. Yes. And I was like that. I could spend a lot of time thinking about the project that I was going to do, but never actually starting it because I knew it wasn't going to hold up to what I saw out there. And that's very tough. Mouse says, sometimes you're doing many things well, but you don't know until other people see how you handle your foster dog. That's a great lesson to learn. Well, we are always the worst judge of ourselves, whether it's, in just life lessons or art or dog training. And then you got to look at how far you've come too. I mean, they say don't look back, because you don't want to see that oncoming train, but sometimes you need to. Because then you need to give yourself the pat on the back, which I hope you all do, and say, hey, look at, the video I did, I guess it was last week, where I just showed a bunch of unfinished projects. It was not a negative thing to me saying, oh, I have all these unfinished projects. To me, it was like, look at this. I did this and I did this and I did this. That was awesome to recognize that. Okay, so I'm looking at this. Kind of want to make sure things are touching a little bit on each of the gauze. So doing art from our own hearts and not art that is expected to be something that we do. Okay, I don't think I like evening it out like that. Jackie said, so Susan, do you mostly make your books for your own pleasure or reference, or do they go into your shop? They go into my shop, or somebody sends me a message and says it's something that they want, and, I sell it to them. The shop is closed until the 10th of January. You can put things in your cart, but you can't check out yet, just because I want to get through this. We had to get through the holiday stuff and now through this storm. So I won't start shipping again until January 10th. And maybe I'll be able to get a few more pieces of art in there in the interim. But if not, I'm not putting any pressure on myself. Karen said, I also learned to silence the inner critic, shut her down. Yeah. And sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that all the time, that inner critic does not deserve free rent in our head. Okay, I got to follow through on that one. Life is an unfinished project. You said it, Mouse. That's terrific. Hey, Susan. Hello. Welcome. If you haven't been here before, if you've been a secret squirrel, you call them research. Yeah, that's a great thing. Unfinished projects are research. And sometimes I picked up something, I don't have it close or I would show you, but it was the brown patchwork that I just could not get excited about. And then I don't know what it was. I just picked it up and started doing some French knots in a different colored thread. And now I'm all excited about it again. Let's see, what did Sue said? Sue Brown said, I think we need to relabel UFOs unfinished objects. They all qualify as works in progress in my world. Yes, absolutely. I agree. I don't like the, unfinished is not a positive thing. I like the idea of research. And you never know. I mean, the Blue Vessel Storm, I mean, that sat in, half done for almost 2 years before I went back and finished it. And I'm really proud of how that one came out. Joanne said, I learned my fears and doubts were similar to what other creatives felt, and that being able to express them helped me feel more confident in myself. I learned I needed this group. Thank you. Thank you. That is a great lesson. And I hope we've all learned that. And we remind ourselves of it, because it's not something that stays learned for me. Aunt Beck says, just FYI, I'm cooking, so I'll be watching and listening as I work. Awesome. Mouse said, sometimes you just have to walk away because your dog needs to see. You've learned all kinds of things from that dog. Fiona said, when painting, you usually work out ideas in a sketchbook. UFOs are just that, working out ideas. Hey, Paul. Sorry we missed you at our Zoom that you had signed up for. I hope it was just because there was, a disconnect and not because it was a bad day, but I haven't got the January Zoom set up yet. Soon. Hey, Victoria, you've gone back to your other name. I saw that the other day. How are you doing tonight? Let's see. All right. Yeah, I think I'm liking leaving this sort of weighted down here and a little bit freer up top. All right, let's turn this. And as always, I got this huge desk that's 4 feet across, and I'm working in this little tiny space. But, we all know that, right? We all know that. So, Mouse, you know how Artisans does the art for the hearts or something like that? I just saw the announcement come out. And this year, I really want to do a piece of art that I can donate. And the theme has to be hearts or love or something, like that. And I'm thinking, I don't normally do hearts. And in fact, I got rid of a lot of my heart beads and heart shapes and stuff. So I'm thinking about how I can do art that is still absolutely me, but in the shape of a heart or that represents love. So that's going to be something I'm going to be thinking about quickly, because the deadline, I didn't think about it. And the deadline's like in 3 weeks. Purple's your favorite color. When I was a kid, I had a purple fur bedspread. That was like my big deal. I could not believe I had that for years. I think I finally had that still on my couch when I moved out. Well, fake fur, not real fur. I don't know any purple animals. Is anybody shopping the after holiday sales for art supplies? No, that's good enough. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking where this is going. I'm just going to take a small amount. It is so gloomy out here. Wow. I cannot believe. Just going to get worse. No shopping now. We spent our shopping money on a new garage door opener and stuff. Oh, that's not fun. We did buy ourselves a new TV at Christmas, but the thing is, I needed it. Okay. I wanted embroidery floss. I realized I didn't have that much floss and I really wanted floss. So it's not super expensive, right? So I went to Joann's online, and I'm not done yet, but I'm looking through the colors. What about a vessel with a heart-shaped top? Ooh, thank you, Victoria, for a reminder to hydrate. That's an interesting idea. Wow. Or maybe one that was just oh, Mouse, you don't know Art for the Heart? Oh, it's fabulous. Yeah, Artisans hosts it. Well, I guess they didn't do it for a couple years with the pandemic, but they host it, and you donate art that is in the shape of a heart or that symbolizes love or something like that. And then they do a silent auction. No, I don't think it's an auction. Maybe it is a silent auction. I don't remember the details because I never gotten fired up about it enough ahead of time. But now I think I could actually do something in time to participate. Purple is a very heart color. That's true. Hey, Junk Journal with Joy. Hello, Joy. How are you doing today? I think purple grabbed people today. I can't believe it. Hello to all the secret squirrels lurking back there. We love the lurkers. We say cheers every time someone gets thirsty and we all have to take a drink of water. Oh, I like it. Michelle said, I have a new idea to do a greeting card in scroll form with sticks on each end and some stitching, then roll it up with a ribbon. That's a nice idea. You can, if you have a stick on each end here, and then you roll it up like that, it makes a really nice little card or scroll. Mouse said, blue string and paint in the upper left looks like a heart. Oh, it could. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Joyce has been here for the whole time, just didn't realize I didn't hit enter. I hadn't thought about that. I could do a very simple heart with couching and then embroidery around it. Riri said, floss is fine, just don't use it to bind signatures. Even using all the strands, if you drop it, they break. Oh dear. You're stitching along. Yeah, thanks for the tip. I usually don't worry about what I'm using in a just because book if it's a fabric book, but if I'm doing anything with paper, I'm usually using waxed linen threads. Wow. Like I said, klutzy Susan today with, it's okay. Just if I just get it tacked down, then we can go from there. Our Facebook group, we hit 750 members yesterday. Thank you guys for, if any of you talk about it elsewhere or invite people to join, because it's lovely to have so many wonderful creatives in there. I feel like I have just a bunch of dull needles because I swear this was not, yeah, wax linen is awesome. And if you don't have wax linen, you can wax your, 6 strands of embroidery floss or pearl cotton and wax it, and it will definitely help. I'm trying not to do it. Lately, I've been stabbing myself just right there at the base of the cuticle. It's not a good place. I don't recommend it. Hey, Barbara. Happy New Year to you. All right. I've got some new containers coming just to make sure that they fit on all the shelves that I want to use them on, so I can have some huge clear ones. Thumbs up, people. Fiona says 47 watching and only 17 lights. Layers of hearts. Oh, I like that idea too. Cut out, if you stack the fabric and cut out a bunch of different size hearts and stacked it up, and then bullion knots around it, or French knots maybe, or both. Packing up the Christmas tree. Look at that. You are on top of it. All right. And maybe we'll spread this out. We'll let this one go this way. It will be less fiddly as I get more of this down. I have enough purple left for one other little, okay, I'm liking you guys are helping me on the hearts. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's not a fun way to stab yourself. I mean, there are rarely fun ways. Let's see. The other thing I did the other day is I went really hard in the pad of this finger, no blood, but so deep that it really, really, it just hurt for a few days. Oh, good. Barbara's got a flip of her mandalas and of her 2022 art journals up fresh today. We'll have to go check it out. Is there a heart-shaped looking knot? Maybe, but I don't want to be that fussy. I'm not that accomplished, perhaps, in that area of stitching. So I'm liking the idea of layered hearts, though. I'm liking that idea a lot. 2 daisy loops together. Oh, that's an idea. But, and I think I'm just going to leave that thread because I can probably use it elsewhere. And Barbara says, and tomorrow at 10:30 Central Time, look for Art Joy of Sharing, where Peg interviews me. Oh, interviews Barbara all about her Linda Berry style of daily journaling. Awesome. All right, I'm thinking I'm going to cut this end. Do a V-stitch. Yeah, I could do like a fly stitch, like a heart, but I'm liking the idea of layers of hearts. And I'm definitely going to play with that. All right, I like that a lot better. Could have curled this one out a little more, but I can always, if I decide I need more, but I don't think we're going to notice it. I could bring some more out, but I think I like that. Can make a heart with turkey. Oh, turkey work, though, takes a long time. I don't want to work that hard. Cutting out the hearts will take a while. But, oh, thank you, Barbara. There's the link to her interview tomorrow. That's going to go up tomorrow. Yeah, I think some rough cut hearts layered up will be really interesting. Lori said, I learned that those old curlers will heat up your pad. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm not worrying about a heart on this. I'm going to start something new, but you guys gave me a lot of good things to think about. I knew what you meant, Mouse. All right, let's see. Where did I stop? Right here. Aunt Beck says, Barbara, I loved your flip throughs. Sue Fiber Art, layered hearts would be like a cluster. Yeah, and then fill it up with all the different textures. Karen said, Susan, do you find that lives are easier than editing videos? Yes and no. It's definitely easier than editing. I like not editing. You know, so, and you guys see, well, I rarely edit out my goofs. Mostly I edit out things like me coughing or the dog barking. But what's harder is that when I'm live, I absolutely need to interact with you guys. You know, I don't like it if I go to a live and the people that are doing the live don't acknowledge the people in the audience. That's sort of my thing when I'm doing a live stream. So it alters a little bit certain things that I feel like I'm comfortable doing on a live. Not bad, just different. Barbara said, Becky, that's high praise coming from you after I saw some of your flips this morning. There's some nice work. I love you guys supporting each other. That is wonderful. So like this kind of stuff I would be doing on my lap and then bring it back up to show you guys. But in a live, I feel like if I keep going out of frame, that's not fair to you guys that are taking time out of your day to be here with me. All right, since I gave myself more length on this, let's turn this again. I've got all of this left. And we're gonna so I think of this just like if I was doing paper collage, is you want things to be connected. Oh, Karen said, I want to make videos, but I don't know how to edit. I am not a computer person. Oh, well, then just go live. Absolutely. Go live and don't worry about it. Do you know about StreamYard? StreamYard makes it very easy to go live. And you can even go live in StreamYard and save it and not upload it. And you can give yourself a chance to look at it, see how you feel about it. I feel like this needs something over. Ooh. No. I'm not liking the end here. That's Victoria or Minxie, Barbara. She's just gone back to her earlier name. Jackie said, yep, that's why you get my attention faithfully. Great interaction. Yep. You know, it's just my thing based on how I was treated years ago when I started attending lives. All right. Karen, if you're not in the Facebook group, just YouTube. Yeah. And just YouTube, you can go live just on YouTube as well. But going live makes it very easy. You don't have to worry about editing at all. I don't know what this thread is, but I want to get this one out of there. Those of you that are new here, you may want to consider joining our Facebook group. I'm messing this up. Fiona, I need you sitting on my shoulder. I like this coming down in here. Okay, let's take some of that out of the way. Maybe. You can do lives as private or unlisted before making them public. Yeah. Let's see. It might be. This one just needs to. Okay, that's too much like this. So I'm liking that a little better. Just do something. You can always fix it later. Yeah, even though you're doing funny faces in the background. Thank you, Fiona. All I can do is follow my instincts. I don't know how to do anything else. All right, this one's loose. We're just going to leave that one alone. We're just going to follow this strand a little bit. Jackie, what you said above, that's why I love Susan's channel too. Thank you, Barbara. You know, I mean, there's so many options on YouTube today, and our time is so valuable. We only have so many hours in a day. We only have so many hours in our life. And if you guys are choosing to spend some of it here with me, I need to respect that enough to spend time with you. So if that means that I'm going to work slower and do things kind of awkwardly just so that I'm always interacting with you guys, so be it. You know, and thank you to everybody who watches the replay, because the replays surprise me. Victoria, did you say you'd like me to put that link into the Facebook group? Yes, please. Oh, yeah, please do that, Barbara. Please tout your horn in the group. Let us know that we can go over and watch that tomorrow, because if any of the rest of you are anything like me, you'll forget by the time the live, even before the live goes off. So yeah, post it in the group. Especially since it's evening for some folks. Joy said, I agree. I hate to be on with someone that doesn't interact with viewers. Yeah. Well, Barbara, I know that when they interviewed me, it was a super big high. So I get that. And you deserve that. I mean, you do so much to encourage the journaling and the freestyle kind of journaling. And I don't know. I think your artwork is impressive. Your output is also impressive. It's like, whoa. It'll be your feel-good high for a while. And hopefully you'll gain a whole lot of new subscribers as a result too. Yeah, 9:45 for you there. Yeah, I remember. That's where we met for the first time. It was a lot of fun doing that. Hadn't done interviews for a long time. Used to do them all the time with my writing. All right, let's decide where we want this one to end. And of course, I'm going to come back in with some knots and stuff. 8:45. Okay, so Victoria is telling us she can't tell time. With all the holiday stuff and my husband being off work for a lot of the time, I lost all track of what day of the week anything was. Oh, I had that over here. Okay, well, evidently we're going to do that. Barbara said, thank you for those compliments. Have to issue a small warning about my 2022 flip. I sing. I made a songbook of some of my favorite songs and couldn't help myself. Well, I would expect no less. We get to hear some of your lovely voice then as well. All right, we did that. So maybe we're just going to come down here. And of course, this shapes itself over time. The more knots. The couching, I always feel good when I get that down. It's like, okay, I've like turned a corner and the piece is starting to take shape. And of course, you could do your couching later. Karen said, I'm in the Missouri Ozarks, Springfield, Missouri, the home of Brad Pitt and Bass Pro. I love it. I love it. I was in Missouri many, many years ago to teach at a writing retreat. Victoria said, I'm completely lost at the moment. Taylor went back to school yesterday, so I thought today was Tuesday, and that's why I was here late. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Well, I'm going to cover things up, though, too. I really want to come back and... All right, Fiona. Do this. Still, see, now I'm going to have that in my head, no matter what I do, because of the shape. I'm not going to say the words because we don't need... I don't know. I still think by the time I come in here, Joy said, I didn't know Brad Pitt was from Missouri. I'm from the Kansas City area. Yeah, Barbara, how is it up by you? She said, Californians be aware on the road, big trees down north of Trinidad on Highway 101, high winds today. Yeah, we've got a lot of road washouts happening around here. Lori said, loving the different textures on that piece. Thank you. Yeah, and we're just getting started with texture. You know, I got to get the texture down before I start stitching. That's just the way my brain works. All right, we're just going to make it wonky like this. I'm not going to hear Fiona. I'm going nee, 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 nee. I can't hear you. You won't see it at the end. Mouse said, Karen, now I think you spend your days fly fishing in a river runs through it. All right, let's get this one down and then figure out if we're going to do it. I mean, maybe we don't need the other piece. Maybe we just stop it. All right. I don't want to crisscross. So maybe, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut that right there. And then I'm going to decide, do I need anything else? I'm just wondering, do I want it weighted like this or... That doesn't look good. I don't want to balance like that. I might not need anything else. Does anyone know how I can take St. Clair off my displayed name? I don't know. Does anybody know anything about that? Is your YouTube name, I think. Barbara said, we were prepared with our batteries and such for the power to be blown out at some point. Speaking of which, next Wednesday, power will be shut off due to a change out transformer. I won't be here. Okay, thanks for the heads up. Yeah, we've got batteries are all charged. We've got a lot of food that isn't going to spoil, that we can, we've got stuff to eat, so we don't have to go down to town. I kind of like that. except for maybe not the 8. Kind of like that. Gail said, Karen, you go in through your Google account, I believe. All right, let's really want to get this down so I can add some different textures. I had fully intended to have this couch down before I came on today so that I could do something else. And then I got sidetracked laying out, got an idea for another project. And I'm like, oh, I want to work on, well, I didn't want to work on it, but I wanted to pick things out. So the studio that was clean. Victoria said, go to your channel settings and delete that part off the end of your channel name. Margaret's got to leave for a 4 p.m. meeting. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day or evening. I forgot. I've lost track. Yeah, I'm thinking, still thinking about, what I've learned this year and really letting go. Because I remember a year ago, if I had had patches like this where the background was showing, well, it wasn't even the background, it's the base fabric that I'm stitching to, I would have really freaked out and unstitched things and puckers and stuff. But now I'm just like, ooh, I can't wait till I get to that point and see what I'm going to do to fix it. I think when you can let go of the perfectionism that so many of us carry, either from trainings that we've had, from classes we've taken, from family members or teachers, all of the above. But when you can finally let that perfectionism go and the discipline that you feel like you have to have, and you can just enjoy, it's like, now I can't wait to have a whole bunch of different background cloths ready, because it's so exciting to think about how I'm going to do something with them. And if I end up with 150 pieces of fabric that I've stitched on that do nothing, they're not vessels, they're not journal covers, they're not any, I'm okay with that too. Oh, thank you. Michelle said you seem more relaxed. I feel more relaxed. Thank you for noticing that and saying it. Barbara said, yes, that's a big turning point when you can finally let the piece ask for what it wants. Absolutely. And to not feel like you have to undo something. I admire precision artwork, but it's not something that I aspire to because it just stresses me out. Terry said, I'm clueless on changes. My ex passed away 10 years ago. We separated 3 years before. I still have his last name on my email. I can't get rid of it. Oh, Terry. Okay. We need to, we'll talk. We'll get you through it if you want to. Sue Brown said, yes, back to what we've learned the past year. I've learned that I can't work abstract. Apparently, I need to create a scene or a vignette somehow. And do you enjoy the scenes and vignettes? I mean, is it a matter of you can't because your brain hasn't been able to let loose for the abstract yet? Or is that what brings you the most joy? Because for me, that's where it all is the joy. Is it fun to do this stuff, or is it more fun to do, something else? All right, I really want to come up all the way up here. All right. Just enough. So these stitches are really loose, so I will definitely have to be going back through there. Boy, but with a sharper needle, because this does not. Ugh. Now these threads are long enough to do something, and I'll probably come back up and do a French knot, but not with that thread, so that's why I'm not cutting it off. All right, it's just one little bit that needs to be stitched down, just that little bit. Abstract just doesn't spit. Wait a minute, I looked away for a minute. Michelle said, I like free flow, and yes, the joy. Yeah, you've gotten really good at looking for the joy in your work too. Lori said, letting go is not only freeing, it's very creative. Yeah, because it's sort of like, for me, looking for shapes in the clouds or bushes and things, you tend to let your brain like reaches that point. Oh, I have a tip too. I'm going to come back to in just a minute after we get caught up here. Barbara said, Sue, I tend to be more literal and less abstract in my stuff too, except with mandalas. I don't need them to look like anything. Sue Brown said, abstract just doesn't speak to me, I guess. I rarely start out with a story in mind, but always end up making a little picture. Oh, and I think that's it, is it's learning what speaks to you. That's what took me this year to realize it's texture that speaks most to me. So abstract works. But I still like, the trees, the ferns, the nature kind of stuff. But I also feel myself constrained by perfectionism if I'm trying to create a perfect leaf or a perfect tree. So I'm still looking for that balance. Corinne said, I'm at an advantage in this realm of my life because I've never experienced the need for perfection in my art play. Just joy. Oh, wow, Corinne, that's fabulous. I have been a perfectionist since childhood. So it carried with me into my writing world, into my corporate world, and into my art world. And it's really been a struggle. How do you sharpen needles? Somebody was suggesting like a knife. What do they call that? The knife stone. I haven't tried it. Anybody else have any tips? Sue Brown said, yes, Barbara, I'm probably so literal minded. Yeah. I'm watching you, Fiona. Yeah, you might need to exit and come back in again, Karen. Victoria's question. What has everyone chosen as their word for 2023? Mine is me. What a great word for you. Embrace yourself this year, Victoria. Mine is texture. It was going to be explore, but it really is going to be texture because I'm going to be exploring more. Sandy said, growing up in poverty, I had to make my own toys out of what supplies I could find around. Never knew it prepared me for junk journaling. Exactly. Sue Brown said, I work intuitively, but not abstractly. Yeah, and you've been making quilts for so many years. I think it's just a natural evolution for you to tell that story. Michelle said, I've been embracing the abstract more because I do like pictures. Victoria, Terry said, gratitude is calling me. Gail said, why try to sharpen a needle? Can't you get a replacement? Yeah, I just replaced mine. I haven't tried to sharpen them. I might actually have a tapestry needle here, but you know what? I'm just gonna go with it here till the end. I just got this last little bit. Anne said, my word is kindness. Becky said, breathe. Karen said, have you ever used the long needles when stitching? Oh, yes. I use the really long needles when I'm doing things like my bullion knots. These are some smaller ones, but I use them for that. And the sashiko knot needles are really nice if you want to do, so here's a bullion needle. So compared to what I'm using now, let's see if I do it like that. Maybe you can. I don't know if you can see the difference. Michelle's word is hope. I've never been a perfectionist. Barbara said, I think I'm staying with the word from last year, which was a phrase, art every day. Nice. Yeah, I was thinking mine was going to be exploring texture, but I think if I just say texture, it's enough. Oh, Karen, Victoria said sometimes it takes up to 24 hours for the name to change to show. Joy said, I always have the same word, joy. It works for me. That's wonderful. Victoria, I can't type fast enough to comment, but I'm saying yes and raising my hand to all of the above. We get you, Veronica. Bullion roses are beautiful. I don't have any on any of these. Mine just seem to be. Hello, Sharon. Oh, we've been missing you. How lovely to see you today. Victoria said, I love these words. Mine last year was enough, as in I am enough. That's wonderful. Lori said, my mom was a seamstress and I would get her scraps and learn from her. Thank you, Mom. My grandmother wouldn't give me her scraps. Doggone it. Hey, Margaret. Hello, hello. She said, I never know what my word for the year is until near the end of the year. I tend to let it unfold beforehand. Let it tend to unfold. That's wonderful. Liz said, my word for the year, trust, focusing on learning to trust my artistic skills. That is a wonderful one. It's something we all need to do, is trust that you will know how to handle the situation, when you get there. Yeah, enough is a really good one. Let's see. I'm trying to get myself caught up on there so I don't need to. Hey, Hummer. Happy New Year. How are you doing? Oh, Terry said, since the Zoom, Sharon, I hear your voice. That's one of the other nice things about our Zoom sessions is you put a face and a voice with the person. So then when you see them in chat, you can associate that. I like that too. And I'll try and maybe I can get them up later today. We'll see. Barbara's writing down all the words. She says, I need them all. Fiona says, I like the negative space you are creating. Thank you. But what if I fill it all in with Stitch? You know me. I'm going to fill things in with Stitch. All right. I think. Darn customers who only want to look at everything. Oh, gosh, Kathy. Yeah, if they take you away from here, they should at least be spending some money in your store. What the heck? And so I would say again, for those of you that might be coming in late, California is in the middle of a big storm right now. And this one is long enough. I am going to cut off. So if you don't see me in the group, we may lose power or internet. So if you don't see me in the group for a few days, that may be why, because it's going to get bad tonight and tomorrow. All right. We have it all couched down. So now go make some fried pies. Don't forget to save me one, Sandy. The structure is there. Okay, thank you. Yeah, they can look on other days. Yeah, not on Wednesdays. You need to close for a long lunch on Wednesdays, Kathy. Victoria said, I love being there for the pre-Christmas Zoom. I was going to pop in for the New Year's Eve one, but we had party at the cafe. I didn't do as I thought I was going to do more. And my body said I needed to rest. So I just said, rest. Ooh, Joy was gifted with some very old quilts. I'm making little journal layered items. Nice. Thanks. Gail said, I'm sending lots of positive storm-free energy to you and everyone in your area. Yeah, Michelle, I hope so too, but we're prepared. All right, so now texture. I can do some more couching, but I don't think I'm going to. I used to have a bunch of this purple sari ribbon, but I don't have that much left. I could do my thing where let's see, let's grab a different needle here. Yeah, the wind is really picking up and this is just the beginning. I need a threader. Oh, this is my threader that's all crooked. Ooh. I wish they would make the wire in these threaders a darker color so that I could see them. Well, it just depends on what you're trying to do, Karen, with the long needles. All right. So this is just so I can show you. So this is just a little tiny scrap of, sorry. And you know what? I don't even need it to be that wide. I think I'm going to go down even more. Yeah, trees are blowing like crazy. And put a little knot. And I'm just going to do a little running stitch. Bye, Corinne. Thanks for joining with us. Oh, I missed Sharon's word. Let's see here. Sharon's word is letting go. Nice. Victoria said, I think I need a craft-related one, which will definitely have to be de-stash. Thanks for the good wishes. I'm loving all the goat pictures, Corinne. I love seeing what they're doing with the Christmas trees. Karen said, I think my word will be care. I sometimes go by care, so that fits. Nice. Barbara said, I think our storm today has blown its way through already. It's raining now, but quietly, gusty, but not big winds. Oh, wow. Lucky you. Yeah, I think it's just picking up here. It's steady rain. I don't know what we're at amount yet. Yeah, Sari silk is really fun to use in a lot of ways. Oh, Margaret, she said, I came across a bag with some embroidered Nuno felt pieces I made some time ago and some shredded chiffon and some other stuff that I may have to do something with. Yeah, I think you have to do something with it. All right, this maybe isn't going to work on this. I've hit a block with the socks I am knitting, so I might need something else to do. So this is just a little gathered bit, and I'm not liking that knot there, so I'll probably, hey, Vicky, how are you doing? How's your husband doing after his surgery? Hopefully he was doing well and is up and moving around. So I don't like that big knot that way, so what I'm going to do is cut it off. And I think I'll do it again. And we're just going to come up anywhere. There's no rhyme or reason. Barbara said, you fabric lovers. Lisa, my eclectic life yesterday took apart an Indian rug she got at the dollar store. It's made of 6-inch strips of sari fabric and had all kinds of interesting fabrics. Yeah, I got one of those. I got some sari placemats a while back, mostly polyester material, but it is very interesting to take one of those apart and see what you get. Vicky said, I took him for a checkup this morning. He's doing well. Good. Well, we've got like 10 days of storm ahead here. All right. So because I cut that in half, I thought I was being clever. I'm not liking the way that's going to work out, but I think I'm going to just come back down like that. All right. And we're just going to make 3 little bits. Yeah, Susan keeps saying she does not need any more variety of fabrics, but threads. I am definitely, after the live, going to do more with threads. All right, this one I'm not going to gather quite as much. I'm just going to do 4 little running stitches. I guess I could have brought you down a little bit more. I just want, because again, I'm going to come back in here and do some knots and stuff over it. Just getting some beginning textures down. Oh, I've got the worst needles over here today. Wow. This will look very different when it's done. I use this technique. Do I have it handy? No, I thought maybe I had it handy to show you. I use this technique on the recent blue piece. Mouse said, I've discovered I don't mind losing power. I don't mind fallen trees. The only thing I really miss is the internet. Yeah. Barbara said, I'd like to do more stitching this year if I can do it without hurting my right thumb again. I've discovered taking breaks has really been very helpful to me. So I, stitch for an hour or so, and then I go into the studio and put some things away or rearrange some things. Okay, so that just gives me a little, and I could just come back over and just do stitches on the top of this, and it's just going to give a completely different effect. So I've got some thread left. Let's bring it down and see. I'm just going to come right over here. Oh, at the end, I'll always add some beads. Absolutely. But I don't do that until the very end, because what I like to do once I have this covered with stitch, then I can nestle the different beads in between things. I'm just going to do a couple French knots right here. And really, really bad French knots, because then I don't have to feel bad about stitching over them. These aren't even proper French knots. They're just kind of knots. Mouse said, for all the UK people, I've managed to binge watch Midsummer Murders through all the storms. It's not just for UK people. We like Midsummer Murders. We just finished watching Reacher on, I guess, was it Amazon, I think? Really enjoyed that. Okay, like I said, this looks really like ugly, but picture, you know, some bullion knots coming across that, and you're just going to see little bits. Michelle said, I can only do about an hour at a time. Breaks are good between the stitching. Yeah, and then do some finger exercises. It's also the Magpie Murders. We like that one too. All right, so this piece, well, let's see, that's too pretty to hide. Oh, I was going to do some rings too. I was thinking, got these bigger keychain rings. Wait a minute. Terry said something. Terry said beads are like blossoms. They appear after the roots have set in. Oh, that's perfect. Yes. All right. So if I'm going to do some circles, I might nest one down here. Maybe over here. And maybe up here. Oh, Vera. We really enjoy Vera too. All right, so I can do this a couple ways, and I think what I'm going to do is just grab some really thin thread, just to tack these down real quick. Whoops, cameras, thank you. Sorry about that. See, if you don't tell me these things, I pay no attention to what I'm looking like on the screen. Thank you, Lori. Sue Brown said, Margaret Berry, I think you and I are kindred spirits. Mouse said, I worry my foster dog is going to develop Pavlovian response to the Midsummer Waltz. Karen said, I love weather and just found Ruin Hall, y'all, on YouTube. It's so much better than our local weather. Oh. We have a little weather station that outside that tracks all our stuff for us, which is nice. All right, so I'm just going to tack these guys down. These are just normal little keychain, you know, split rings for keychains. They've got raised edges. You're not going to see any of that. Sue Brown said, Susan, have you ever covered a ring with blanket or buttonhole stitches? I'd rather do that than make Suffolk puffs or hexes. Yeah, and I like that a lot better too. I'll tell you my thing I've discovered with the rings. I love the raised effect, but I have to do something to them to make them less perfect. I have a problem with the perfection, the perfect circle. So I need to alter them in some ways, if that makes any kind of sense. And I know Andrea does the Dorset buttons, and I guess I could use these sort of things for Dorset buttons if I try that. Okay, that's really loosely tacked down. Again, this is one of those things that's much easier to do on my lap. Anne said, we are addicted to UK murder shows. We're watching Midsummer Murders and Margaret, I don't know. I know the perfectionist has a problem with it, but see, I'm trying to break that perfectionist habit. It doesn't look natural and organic to me. You know, I don't see circles in nature, but when I can take one and cover, you know, some of the edges with, say, French knots or something, so it's like off kilter, I guess. All right, and I'm not going to worry about knotting this on the back side because this is only to hold it while I do something else to it. So it's not going to come undone. I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah, Sharon says, I love that you look for a way to create imperfections now, Susan. Thank you, Sharon. You know what my struggle has been. Margaret said, I would like to try making Dorset buttons. They look amazing. Oh, yeah, and Andrea we need Andrea's link. Birdie Goes Crafting is her Facebook page, and she's got a lot of her buttons posted there. Yeah, I kicked her out of the car. You betcha. She was a pain in my backside. She really was. Oh, Barbara says, Anne, I just got BritBox, so I'm pigging out on Vera, Shetland, and Silent Witness. Oh, we loved all of those. Absolutely. Fiona said, just had a picture of you in my head, bashing the rings with a hammer. Yes, we love Silent Witness. Cold Case, also. We've watched most of the stuff that you'll see on BritBox. Aw, Mouse says, actually, maybe my foster dog likes Midsummer because she knows I'll sit still for about an hour. Otherwise, she's worried I'm going to leave. I don't tend to watch anything with subtitles anymore because, you know, I'm stitching, so I need to be listening. Bending the rings would be a good idea. Earrings. I'm going to knot this only because I only have a small amount. May Gray. Thank you. I don't know that one, Victoria, so we'll have to check that out. Is it all in subtitles, though? Because there's a lot of things that sound great, and we don't watch them because of the subtitles anymore. I'm trying to think of what else in the British show. I mean, we watch a lot of British shows. We love them too. British crime shows, very popular. Ryan Hall, y'all. Karen, oh, it's in English. Okay, May Gray. Huh. I'm going to have my husband go look for that for us. Jackie said, my word, Sansushi, free from worry, concern, or anxiety. Oh, wow. I know a children's artist, actually 2 children's artists with the last name of Sansushi. Or should I do it? No, it's going to be in the corner here. Maigrait. All right, Hebby, if you're listening. If I ask anybody later about that TV show, remind me, because I'm not going to stop and try and find something to write it down. Oh, Doc Martin. Hey, Lee or Lori, we really we enjoyed Doc Martin too. I'm drawing an absolute blank now of all the wonderful UK shows we've enjoyed. Doggone it. Rosemary and Thyme was a cozy mystery. Shakespeare and Hathaway. Hey, Carol, how are you doing? Gina B. Silkworks does great buttons on YouTube. Oh, good to know, Lori. Margaret, did you catch that? Gina B. Silkworks. All right, let's just use up this thread. That way I'm not going to worry about knotting it. And then we'll see what we want to cover it with. George Simonon wrote the Maigret series. Okay, with Rowan Art. Okay. We'll have to check these things out. All right. One day at a time, huh? Well, that's all we can do. I'm awesome today, considering it's storming outside. All right, the rings. I like the rings a lot. What do we want to do with the rings? Ooh, I kind of like this color down there. All right, I need a big needle though. Barbara says, great hop over the New Year's. My, you did the work. Yeah, it was amazing to see how many people turned out and how many wonderful channels were in the hop. Barbara posted the link in our group, I think. Lori said, my sister recommended the show Wednesday. Oops. New take on the Addams Family characters. Yeah, I would like to see that too. It's on our list. I'm also hoping the murders will desensitize my dog from sound. She sleeps through screaming on gunshots and hunting hounds. That's a good idea, Mouse. Let's see. What did I miss? I always end up shouting at Rosemary in time. Wrong plants. I know, Fiona. I know. Thank you, Victoria, because you know me, I'm going to forget. I appreciate you posted a reminder for me. Yeah, boy, we'll need to make a list of all the great British shows. So Wednesday, lots of giggles. We like that. We like giggles. We watched The Coroner, the Canadian series. Was sorry to finish that. Oh, thank you, Barbara. So Barbara posted the link to her interview in the Facebook group as well. Gail or Terry, could somebody please post a link, or Barbara, post a link to the actual group? So if we have anybody here that's not already in it. Michelle said, I'm enjoying everyone's post on Susan's Facebook. Yeah, I am. So you guys are awesome. Oh yeah, that's another good one, Lori. Miss Scarlet and yeah, and All Creatures Great and Small. We love both of those. And of course, Call the Midwife. We love Miss Scarlet. Binge our way through all of that. Sharon says, I missed so much on YouTube and social media over the holiday season. Yeah, but if you spent time with family, that's terrific. Sue Fiber Art says, needle question. I have a size 9 Milner's needles for bullion knots. Is there a size with a bigger eye or a different type of needle? So they actually make a bullion knot needle. I got some new ones for Christmas. Let's see, what do I have here? Well, okay, this is a great comparison here. Let's open these up. This will be a good way to finish off here. Whoops. Thank you. So there's the Facebook group. And you guys can pop over there and I can let you in after this. Let me get into my boxes. That's what we do here, Carol, is we post people's links so that you guys can go off and support one another. All right. So they also make, these are the long bullion. I just have a heck of a time ever getting into these boxes. But they also make a short bullion, which is nice. Yeah, I love my tulip needles. So I always put them on my list, and my mother-in-law gets me some every year. All right, so let's, whoops, and my cork came out. Yeah, it's Japanese packaging. But I do save the little red, thingies that come on them. All right. So what I've got here, this is a number 10. So you said you had a 9, but this is a 10 Milner's. Yeah, they are the holy grail. I just love them. They are my absolute favorite needle brand. It is Tulip. And these are pretty much the only needle I buy. So I don't have a 9, but look at the difference. Okay. This is an actual bullion needle. And then this is a and I know I have Milner's needles that are, let's see. I'm right next to my needle drawer. I have a feeling they're probably over at the couch, but let's see. Okay. So this is a number 9. Here is a Milner number 1. Okay, so this is a better comparison. So these are pretty close, and these are the 2 that I use for making bullion knots, and they both have nice eyes. I have something dark I can. They both have nice size eyes on them. I don't know if you can really tell there. I mean, I don't need a needle threader unless I'm using a really thick one. Can you do the hand behind the, so see if that, and so they're very close. So that is a number 1 Milner's and then just a regular bullion needle. Does that help? And then I always have to put them back in there because I forget. But it took me some looking around to see the difference between them. So depending on the tiny Milner's needles, I can't use these unless I was using, I mean, these are so tiny, it would really be hard for me to thread. Yeah, this is a straw needle, a Milner's straw needle, number 1, big eyes straight versus a bullion knot needle, big eyes straight. Good ways to store and label needles. I know people swear by needle books. I can't use a needle book because I forget the needle. Someone needs to make you a focus you freak sign for those close-ups. Oh, as far as for the camera? Yeah, because I have autofocus turned off because I think it makes people kind of dizzy. For me, I have to keep my bullion or keep all my tulip needles back in their tubes. And then periodically I have to go back and hold them up against one another to identify them and put them back in here. If you have different brand needles, I have seen people make a needle book where each page has the name, you know, straw needle, sashiko needle, whatever they are on the page. Anybody else have any tips on how they like to store their needles? Cigar tubs for needles. Oh, that's a good idea. Lori said, I just got seed bead needles. Not sure I'll be able to thread it. Okay, so here, I haven't done the video yet, but here is the only seed bead needle I can use anymore. And again, it is a tulip number 10. I have them in 11 and 9, I think, and I can't use them. Bye, Joy. We'll see you later. But these I can thread with just a regular cheapy needle threader. And these are the only ones I can use. They make, let's see. I don't know if you'll be able to see them like this. I need something dark. This is what they call a collapsible eye. When I make the video, I'll make sure you get really good close-ups of it. And this is kind of nice because the eye, it's very large for threading and then the eye collapses. My problem is it's just basically a very thin piece of wire. So for beading, for seed beads, this really is my preferred one. And that's just me. I had to buy a lot of them. They also make the split eyes where the entire needle pulls apart. But again, I bend them too easily. Yeah, you can absolutely poke them in cardboard, poke them in felt, you know, put a sticky label on it. Margaret says, I just put them all in an empty body butter box. Most of them are too small for me to use. I should destash. Yeah, I got rid of all the ones that were just too tiny. I can't use the sharps. They're too tiny. All right, people, I think I am closing up here. Anybody have any last questions before I sign off today? And then I bought so many of them that then I just start relabeling things. You know, it's like, okay, I knew it was a chenille needle, but these are the 8s. You can get the tubes in crafting shops. Yep. And sometimes seed beads come in these. But this works for me. And I had to try putting them in, you know, I liked the ease of just sticking them through a piece of material, but I never got them back in the right place. Yeah, collapsible eyes, they are very easy to thread. But if you're going through any kind of thickness in your fabric, they might bend. What was the first button lady you said? Andrea, you need to check out Andrea's page for buttons. Birdie Goes Crafting. And then somebody else, Lori, did you have a link? Somebody that was doing, was it somebody Silkworks? Who was it that was doing buttons, button videos? Please let me know. All right, everybody have a great week. Yeah, let's hope I don't lose power. If I'm silent in the group, it means that we've lost power. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, it is wet out there. The dog is not going to be happy. All right, everybody, have a great week. I will see you next time. And thanks for those of you that come back and leave a comment after the video goes live on YouTube. I appreciate that. It does help over on YouTube. So I'm grateful for that. Snowing for Vicky. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, Liz, I hope you'll come back.